most of the countries where we've seen projects on ground, met local stakeholders, European Union gained a lot of credit over the many years of cooperation that it's done with developing countries. What do you think is the main reason why European Union public is not aware of the credit it has gained?
Well, it's a very, let's say, multi-level question. First of all, the Commission itself is not very famous, not very well known in the EU, because it's an institution, it's not elected by the people, so people know their own governments, they know their ministers, so the face they put on the politics are more on the national level, through this national filter. For the EU, it's already much more difficult to reach out to people like my mother or your cousin. I mean, someone who is not working in this area is not really aware of it and is not going to try to know a bit more. We should be able to go through to them better. But first, we don't have all the human resources we will need to do that. It's extremely complicated to adapt a message to 27 member states and explain. That being said, we do a lot of efforts to do so. Obviously, we have thanks to the internet, we have a lot of websites where you could find any kind of information of the good news, as you say, of what the EU is doing. But it's true that it's quite complicated. And then, as far as the press is concerned, as you know, it's always, let's say the press prefers to cover bad story or scandals because it's breaking news rather than good news. In French, we say that for the media, a train which arrives on time is not a news. When a train which arrives not on time, then is a news. It's a kind of the same story. So we try to sensitize the press by organizing press trips in the field to show what we do concretely. But it's true that it's small story. I mean, it's like a human story in one country. It's not a big picture. It's not macroeconomic stories which are easy to show. So you can do it with people like you who are doing documentaries on the specific issues, but providing a story like at a macroeconomic level, it's much more difficult. We can produce results. We can tell where we made the difference. We can tell that, for instance, we helped to build 36,000 kilometers of road in Africa, or that we helped to vaccinate a billion of children against polio and diarrhea, these kind of things. But it's true that it's difficult to, if you want to illustrate, you have to go on the ground. So in Africa, as you say, we've been there and we can see the people are praising the EU for what they do, because very simply they help them to get access to food, they help them for the women who are pregnant to give birth in decent conditions, they will help them to get educated, to go to schools. And this is something that, you're right, we should have the people in the EU to be more aware of, because they should be proud of what they do. It's their money, which at the end of the day will really help concretely these people, these women in Africa, in Asia. So we are proud for them. We try to do it better. So your work is one of the work which can help us to reach out these people.